is Bethany. If you've not been here before, this is a knitting channel, and that's mostly what I talk about here is knitting. Sometimes crochet, sometimes some other things, but this is just going to be a recap on a trip I just took. I just realized my eyes look really bloodshot. It's because I took a really hot shower. I got off the train and felt gross, so I took a really hot shower. I haven't been crying or anything, but my goodness, wow. It was a good shower, guys. I feel a lot cleaner. But I wanted to go over some things that I got while I was out, because I feel like they're all so great that I'm going to want to cast them on immediately, and that I'll forget where they came from, or, where they're from, if I don't show you now. I literally got back like an hour ago, brought in all my stuff, showered, put on some clean clothes, and now I'm talking to you. So obviously I did not check to see if I was like in the best shape, but that is okay, right? Like, it's okay for imperfection to be here, right? So first of all, the trip was amazing. It was so nice to be with Marie and Judy and all the other ladies who were there. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, my hair was all in my eyes. I was getting distracted. I don't have a lot of time before my kids get back from classes today, so we're just gonna go with what we have going on here. Okay, so it was a fabulous time. Oh my goodness, it was so restful. There was no expectation of your time, like no itinerary, no nothing. Like, just they gave you food. We were snowed in one of the days. Like, even if we would have wanted to get out, it would have been hard to do. And like, oh no, we're snowed in New Hampshire and we have to knit all day together. Gosh darn it. It was fantastic. And I am, so refreshed, so happy that I chose to go. I've never done this before. I've never just like gone with one of my I'm trying to remember if there's ever a time where I've just gone with one of my friends to a knitting retreat. It's my first knitting retreat, but it's also the first time in a very, very long time that I've been able to get away for that long. And oh, it was great. The train was it was so fun to just see all the snow. It was as advertised. Definitely winter Wonderland retreat for sure. It was fantastic. And when I say that we had a ball, absolute ball while I was there, oh my gosh, it was so good. And I wanted to share the things that they gifted to us, and also a couple of things that I got along the way. So Alyssa Jo was with me the whole time. We took breaks for ourselves and stuff. Wow, this is tangled. Breaks for ourselves and stuff throughout the trip, and that was so nice to just like know that she's a mama with 4 kids getting a break, and I'm a mama with 4 kids getting a break. And I was just so glad we could do it, and so thankful that my husband is so capable and such a good dad that I can just take off for a week and he can handle all the things, and I didn't need to worry about it. So fabulous time. Okay, firstly, we went to this very cute cafe called the Main Street Cafe in Altamont, New York. And we were like, yeah, this is on the way to that yarn shop we saw, right? Called the Spinning Room. And we walked out of the cafe and it was like, oh, there it is right there. It's like literally next door. So when we went into the shop, I asked if there was any locally dyed yarn there. And there were a couple of different dyers there. And then there was even a farm that brings in yarn that they've spun and dyed, and then also just, I think it is top that is also dyed and brought in. So that was really fun. This is the Periwinkle Sheep. That's one of the dyers there in Altamont, New York. Well, it's hand dyed in Albany. Sorry, it's close to Altamont where we were, and this colorway is Cranberry. It's a little bit darker than it's coming out on screen. Somehow the sunlight is still coming through the clouds a lot, so, but it is a lot redder than the thing I was using before, and so I'm a lot more satisfied with this for that project. So that was really nice. And then I also got this. Look at that. Oh, that's coming out pretty perfect, actually. It's like this gold with these bronzy parts on it. And this one is Dream in Color yarn on this smooshy cashmere base. And it's called Naked Shame, which I find hilarious. I think that's really, really beautiful. And then I also got, oh, come on, sheepies. I also got these Katrinkles stitch markers of these different sheep. Isn't that funny? Some of them are resin and some of them are wood. And there's a black sparkly one in there too on the end. I thought they were just great. All these different kinds of sheep. And then that's what I got in Altamont, New York. And then we headed up to the retreat itself, and it was fabulous. And they had, as soon as we got there, they had this little gift on our beds with the little winter woodland retreat, and if you open it, it has a little coaster and the pattern for the coaster there. And sorry, here we go. So they gave us the pattern and then this little coaster, and this says let the adventure begin. It's so sweet. I really liked it. I'm apparently into coasters, as you may have seen in the last couple of videos. I just think they're great to have in my yarn room to just keep with me, because I'm always bringing a drink in here at some point. Sorry, I'm winding this back up because I must have undone it. Okay, and then while we were there, there was this de-stash table, and basically anybody could bring any part of their stash that they were willing to part with. And I thought that was such a good idea. I meant to bring some of my stash to do that with and totally forgot. I also totally forgot to bring the socks that I was planning on bringing with me. And that is the other thing that I got at the Altamont, New York yarn store was this. This is a skein of tenderfoot yarn. I have no idea where the little tag for it is because I've already cast them on, obviously. I forgot my socks that I had. I was going to bring one of my 2023 whips to try and finish a pair of socks. Totally forgot. And I knew that at some point I would be done with the shawl. Not done like finished, but just like emotionally done with the shawl that I was working on. I was so focused on it while I was at the retreat. And I was right. By the time I got on the train to go home, I was like, okay, man, we've been working hard on this thing, but we've still got about 80 more rows to go. So maybe it's time to take a break so that I don't get burnt out on it. And this was fabulous. I really like it. I am just excited to make these into just some plain old socks, some hardy plain old socks. And I've been wanting to use this tenderfoot base since I moved from my local yarn store in Tennessee. Yeah, and it is exactly as good as I thought it was going to be. Anyway, back to the de-stash table. They had this de-stash table and I thought, oh, this is so great. So I got a couple of skeins of sock yarn that I've never used before. I'm excited about using those. They are, so this one is an 80-20 merino nylon, and this one is a 70% merino, 20% nylon, 10% stellina, which is why all those sparklies are in there. And then I also got a skein of Malabrigo Rios Purpurus, and it's just all these shades of purple, and I thought, wouldn't that just make a great hat? Oh, I think it would. I think it would make a fabulous hat. I that was such a good idea to have that de-stash table there. But the surprises do not end, because there was even more that happened while we were there. So first of all, they gave us this. I think I can show you the front page. Yes. Okay, so Judy, who was one of the Judy and Marie were both hosting the event, and Judy designed a colorwork cowl for us, just for the people who are at the retreat, and we got yarn to do it with Swool of the Andes, which is another thing I've been wanting to try. So that's really great. And then the colors are just really yummy. Can you see this is coming out almost white, but this is like a heathered gray, and then the green tones here are pretty close. Oh, so good. So good. I was really surprised by that. Like, they had said that there would be some treats and things, and I was like, oh, that's fun. Like, and there were like little Dove chocolates over here, Scandinavian swimmers from Trader Joe's over there. Like, there were just little things all over the place that if you wanted a little snack, you could have a little snack. And I thought that's what they meant, but there were yarn treats, and oh my goodness, it didn't even end there. So then there was another day. I already ate one of the chocolates out of this one, but there were 4 of them in here, and they were, I'm trying to recreate it for you. I don't think I can, but there were 4 in here. Obviously, I already ate one, and it was delicious, and I can't wait to eat the other ones. And then Pearl Soho. I thought I was saying the wrong thing for a second, but I'm not. Pearl Soho, they gave us some of these cards, and of course their patterns are free, but it has this little these little pictures on there so you can see what they are, and then there's a QR code, and it can take you right to that page. Isn't that really convenient? I even just like the pictures, so I'm probably gonna put them on my board. But and they gave us this little tree charm before we left. Isn't that wonderful? And then there were light bulb stitch markers, which yes please, all of these please. And new soak scents to try out. This one's Celebration, and this one is Fig. And I love these little things because if you like it, then it's awesome. You got to try it, and it's just a fun new way to try them. But if you don't like it, then that's okay, because you didn't buy like the whole tub of it, and now you know you don't like that scent for it. So I think these are genius. And then also linen quill. Now I know some of you are totally in love with linen quill, and it's like old news for you, right? And you've got like a whole stash of linen quill, but I have never used it before. I have wanted to use it because I've heard such good things about it, and I think this color is so beautiful. It's called Twig Brown. And as we were on the retreat, someone said, oh my gosh, Pearl Soho has like 9 new colors, and everything's 20% off right now. So that might still be happening. Today is January 29th. So you might look that up if it's anywhere near, if this video isn't from yesteryear for you. Check out, see if that sale is going on still, because it was, with it being 20% off, that brought it down to $14.40 a skein US, which is pretty reasonable for that, I think. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to try this. I have no idea what I'm going to use hardly any of these in, but I'm very excited. I'm very excited about it. Okay, and then like the cherry on top of everything, right? We're leaving the retreat. It was so awesome. It was like mind-bogglingly beautiful, coming down from the mountains to the train. There's snow everywhere on top of the trees, and it was so gorgeous. And Alyssa Jo and I just keep saying like, oh, what a great time we had. And like there were different points where we got to talk to like some of the ladies individually, and that was really sweet. And just talking about how the scenery is so beautiful. And I don't even remember why I looked up something on my phone. But suddenly I was like, oh my gosh, Alyssa Joe, there's a Spinnery like 8 minutes from here. And she was like, what direction is it? So by the time we figured it out, it was more like 13 minutes from there. But I was like, do we have enough time to even go? And she said, yeah, I'm sure we do. So we went to the Green Mountain Spinnery. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. I have never entered somewhere that sells yarn and immediately smelled sheep. Like, we walked in and both of us went, because it was just so sheepy. Like, the air was so sheepy and like hit you in the face. Not just like, oh, that's nice. It was like, woo! And oh my goodness, it was so cool. So I asked Holly, who was there, I asked her if I could take some video while I was there for the podcast, and she said that was fine, but that she didn't want me to she didn't want to be talking in it or anything. And I said, that's okay. Is it okay if I just put like some music over it or something? And she said, oh yeah, that's great. So, sorry, I'm moving some souvenirs I got from my children out of here. They had like this beautiful yarn that this one is they call it the music base. So music is spelled like a U, E-W-E, music base. This is the DK weight. It's 100% fine American wool. All of the processing is done here in America. So a lot of the wool comes from out west, is processed and by processed, I mean like cleaned before it gets to the spinnery. They still do like a scouring process when it gets there, but I'll just let you watch like the whole, walk through. I'm sure you spinners will know exactly what's happening there. I was fascinated. It was amazing. This colorway is called Evergreen, and I absolutely love it. I got 10 of these because they were 58 gram skeins, and things were sold by the ounce there. So it's 58 grams because that's 2 ounces for these, which I think will be enough for me to make a sweater, which will be fantastic. Can I get it all out of here? I think so. I think this is all of it. Oy, look at all that. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so happy about it. I'm so happy about it. And there's more. I was looking over at their, I don't know what else to call it other than a sale bin, but it was like their odds and ends, I think they called it. And so these skeins were I asked her, why are these in a different thing? What's up with these? And she goes, well, it could be that they're not all, one part of it might be cut. So as you scan it up, you might find that there's a break in there. And I was like, okay. And then she goes, or the spin isn't as consistent on these as it would be, what we would say it should be our standard. And I was like, wow, that says a lot about the kind of standard you guys hold yourselves to. So these, I'm very excited to play with these and see. I think you might be able to see the difference in those tones better that way. And these were 75 cents an ounce, which I think was $6. Which is insane to me. $6 for these beautiful, beautiful things. Oh my goodness. So, of course, I couldn't leave these guys behind. And then they had these Bobin Ends, which I was like, okay, explain this to me. You know what I mean? I'm not entirely... I know spinners, and I know enough to be dangerous, but I don't know enough to actually know what I'm doing. So these Bobin Ends are the wool before it's dyed, and then but it's not been plied together. There wasn't enough left on these to ply them together with another, cone. So they just had these little cones, and she said she's plied them together on her, because she can spin. So she's plied them together before and made yarn that she's liked from it, and she's just held them together and knit them together before. So I got these for 35 cents an ounce, which was $3.15. Oh my goodness. I couldn't. Friends, I couldn't leave them behind. Look at these. Look at these colors. Oh my goodness. So I have no plans as of yet for what I'm going to do with these things, but I was just so happy about it. And Alyssa Jo and I were talking about this year being the year that we only buy yarn that we can like feel and smell, because you can see it online, right? And that's the part that gets me in trouble sometimes. And I have a really hard time sticking to like a very like no buy, absolutely no buy, not at all thing, because there's a part of me that when I set down boundaries like that for myself, I either feel like a failure if I don't do it, or I get all rebellious and I'm like, you can't tell me what to do, when it's like me who's telling me what to do. It's weird. I can't explain it. I just know it's not effective. So I think I'm starting off January really well. I've stuck to that, only buying yarn that I can touch and smell. And so if in the rest of, this first quarter, I don't go to any yarn stores, I'll be just fine. Because I already have enough to knit on. And I'm really happy about it, though. I had such a wonderful time at the knitting retreat, and I'm still going to be doing my end of January catch up with y'all about what I've been knitting and the projects I've been working on. But I just wanted to share with you what happened during the knitting retreat while it was fresh in my mind, and so that I didn't forget all the wonderful things that we found. We came back on the train, and boy, was that an adventure. And the whole thing was an adventure. It was so fun. I felt like I was leveling up as an adult, traveling, just the two of us, and taking care of things and taking care of ourselves. And I can't wait to see my kids in a little bit, and my husband, and just be able to have some family time this evening and be able to share with them what a good time I had. So if you ever have an opportunity to go and you're thinking like, oh, I don't know, it'll be with strangers, or oh, I don't know, can I take that much time, or would it be something I'll enjoy doing, I would just encourage you to go. At the very least, it would be an experience and an adventure, and at the very most, you'll have a great time and meet people that you're sure that you'll be able to connect with forever. That's all for today. I'll see you next time. Bye. I don't know why I expected it to be smaller. Stinks. We went to breakfast right over there at the main street cafe and bakery, and then we just walked down the street to here, the spinning room.